Hello. Welcome back, everyone, to our D&D campaign.
Woo.
Hi.
Yeah, session 104. Woohoo! Yeah, how's everyone doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're down in Alex today. But,
It's alright, we can get other Alexes.
yeah, exactly. There's like 100 more where they came from. So yeah, if everyone is ready to begin, and is ready to play some D&D, we shall get ready and have a lovely session. Yes. All right. Well, yeah. So in that case, let's begin.
Oh,
Sorry, I just lost something, so I'm just looking around for it. Just like,
Mary the Cure's made her way up into the mountains.
where is she?
What's she doing there?
Where?
Next to VL.
Oh yeah.
She's going to pay a visit to the Goliaths.
Yeah. 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 Of course. Well, anyway, so all right. So then, in that case, last we left off, the Clive Five had travelled to the Basalt Isles to track down and dethrone the tyrant king Naxus, who was the leader of the Cairo Concord. In their mission, you teamed up with the Strangers, led by Masamantha, an ancient gold dragon once trapped beneath a magical tower in Barathon. And she was freed by the party, and you lot. You also teamed up with Melindra Fairwing, another dragon ally of yours, an adult bronze dragon. Today, together you all led an incursion to overthrow Naxus. But after the leader was slain, it became clear that Naxus's interference over the magic of the Basalt Isles had thrown the storm out of control. With nothing else to do, Gira, Shai, and Masamantha flew together into the storm to fix it once and for all. And in the eyes of all of you, an act of sacrifice for the greater good. So as for the rest of you, you open up your eyes to see the basement of Aaron Shander's tower, the location of the stone shift in Orthaid. Gira is gone, and the ones of you who are left are now without your cleric. What do you want to do?
Right. Wait. So is he? He's gone then.
I think so. Fuck.
So we. It doesn't feel like we won.
Does it ever?
I mean, sometimes it really does.
We defeated a dragon. And now all of our friends are dead, and
We don't know. And well, I mean, we would. I mean, this is the point where we would normally, have Gira cast scrying, no, sorry, cast sending, and check on whoever was stranded, but we can't.
Shai's gone.
How do you know?
Well, didn't she jump in there with...
Yeah, she flew with Masamantha and Gira.
I mean, we didn't see them. Actually, didn't see where they went, did we? Gira poofed us away.
Yeah, we definitely don't know that they're dead. I just think they're probably not dead.
I got the impression from Gira that he was about to sacrifice himself.
And if that's what he wanted to do, we should respect that.
maybe I don't know if we'd been there, maybe we could have helped him end this without that being needed. I don't know.
I think it's something he wanted to do himself. And we should just respect his decision.
I guess. I mean, I don't know, it seems like he's been kind of holding on to life just for this, right? About this purpose he might have keeled over long ago.
Yeah, and death doesn't have to mean the end. Life's a circle.
I thought it was a funnel to the trespasser. All souls to her.
Yeah.
It's
So
like a
the
collection.
souls, not quite like a collection. The souls have to die so that the next souls can come into the world.
Is there like a set number of souls in the world?
Sort of.
Does that mean the population can't grow?
Yeah, not by a lot.
Yeah, any over 4 is too much.
That'd be not many.
Well, it's us four. Now Kira's gone.
The universe is balancing itself back out.
Right. Well, what now?
Are we gonna have to change the name?
Give it a while. I mean, we've always been the Clive 5, even when we've been not 5.
That's true. Maybe Clive can be the 5th.
Yeah.
Roxxon gets up and just sort of looks sad, I suppose. What are we doing here then? What's our purpose now?
Are we back in Erstwall?
You're in Aaron
On
Shander's
Shander's
tower in the basement where the stone shift was.
I should take us back home
Good idea.
if I can.
I think that may be unless you want to take a unless you want to rest here, I think that's going to be my job. Though, I mean, even I'll need an hour. I mean, to be fair, we could probably walk it, right? It's not that far.
It'd be like 2 days walk.
Oh, maybe not. I mean, Mora and I could probably get there pretty quick, but
We'll just run the whole way
yeah, you run and I carp it, but
with all that tea that I have.
but yeah, I guess. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess if we stop here for a little bit, let me rest up, and then I'll take us home. Or we can sleep here. It's up to you guys.
I think I would rather be home right now.
Yeah, let's just wait the hour.
Okay. Or we can, I mean, we can go nap in my demiplane. I know I keep bringing that up as a solution to everything, but you know, demiplane.
I don't see much of a difference, really.
Well, it's quite dark in there. Not for me, but there's no windows or lights.
Let's just wait an hour and then have you teleport us back from shore.
All right, all right. But beyond going home, what do we do? I mean, God knows how long it's going to be until the Planet-born Dead arrives. How do we prepare?
Well, I need to rebuild a religious temple, so that's what I've got going on. If anybody wants to help.
I also need to begin research and study for potential allies against Hackle, seeing as one of my most powerful allies two of my most powerful, several of my most powerful allies died right in front of me. So
We don't know. We don't know
We
that.
don't know that they're dead.
while I think in this instance it's best to assume the worst in case they are dead and I have nothing.
Okay, if that's how you want to play it.
Roxanne says, what was Shai doing in the end? Did we ever work that out?
Don't think so.
Who knows? Mystery.
Roxanne sort of begins walking towards the exit. He says, I've been through too much recently. I think I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back.
Where are you going? You're not.
Don't
not
want to
coming-
lift
not-
back
You're
to
not coming home.
Erstwhile.
I have some friends around the place. I'll see you around.
Right. See you at the wedding.
Oh shit! he begins to look through his notes.
When is that, by the way?
About a week away now, I think.
I'm still on Basalt Isles time.
It is the 43rd day of autumn, so 7 days away. Yeah, that's fine.
See you in a week.
I'll be able to see you in a week. All right.
All right.
And he walks off.
Actually, how are you gonna get there? You don't teleport. Okay. I'll see ya.
You know he has friends indeed. He'll probably get a lift or something.
All right. Better start. He's gonna have to set out soon, actually, isn't he? Yeah, he's got like a 300-mile trip.
Yeah, he'll be alright. He can fast travel as well.
That's true.
He just opens up his menu and poof, he's gone.
Get there to the wedding and you see Roxanne turn up at the last minute, just drenched in sweat. It's like, I've been running for 6 days straight. It's a really long way away.
Alright, so Roxanne leaves you all.
Right. What are you doing, Scrimshaw?
Well, short term or long term?
Short term, I guess. No one really knows what to do long term right now.
Short term, there's the wedding. I don't see anything else imminent. Longer term, I feel like I need to find a way to strengthen this body of mine. It's I feel like it's holding me back.
Are you sure that's just not old age?
Well, I've always been this weak.
I've seen you deflect blows that many suits of armor would struggle to.
Yeah, but that's more of a case of it's like the armor form of. Have you ever seen one of those carriages that has like a roll cage in it? so the whole thing kind of just like compresses when it gets hit, and the actual carriage doesn't get damaged.
Sure.
It's kind of like that, but with my armor. So it kind of just the armor just kind of takes the brunt of it, and I don't really have to resist it all that much myself.
What changes are you going to make?
Well, I just want to gain some strength. Try and not be quite so reliant on magic to try and not be so reliant on magic to move my sword, not so reliant on it to keep me safe. Like with going into that anti-magic field when we met Tail was a bit of a wake-up call. The moment that my magical abilities are turned off, I am useless. I'm a liability. And it's one thing for someone who just casts spells, but I wield a sword. I hit things, and somehow still a magic field stops me from being effective. I want to overcome it. And let's say someday we do free Aeron, and
Or kill him.
Or free him.
Or kill
Not
him.
quite sure yet. It's going to depend on these memories. If my powers are taken from me, because by the sounds of it, they might have come from Ashigal. I need to know that I can still protect this world.
I understand.
And I can't do that with this body.
I want to be a real boy.
We see Scrimshaw later on, and he's just flesh now.
He's wearing a skin suit.
Yeah, no, he's got like lumps of like human skin just kind of like stapled onto him.
like a flesh golem, but just the skeleton is a
Yeah.
warforged.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so you probably had about an hour's rest to be able to teleport back to
Okay,
Estorwalt.
okay, I shall mark off those components and do a circle and teleport us back.
Okay, so if I'm going sort of going from Aeron Chandra's tower to Estorwalt, you appear back in the basement. The dust settles around you as the arcane magic begins to dissipate in the air. The glow from the teleportation circle beneath your feet fading away as you get used to the darkness of the basement. Making your way back up, you see it's pretty empty, just as you left it, really. Feels rather quiet with Halcyon not there. But what would you like to do?
Just gonna go and lock himself in his room.
Okay, slam.
Go and check on Tarman and the Grease of the Crow.
Mm-hmm. And what are you doing, Scrimshaw?
I'll come with Morna.
Okay, so you and Scrimshaw go off down the little country path that leads you to the opening in the woods where the big barn has now been raised, and there's a couple of small sort of tents around the barn. The barn itself seems like a normal sort of farmyard barn. It's pretty well disguised. You wouldn't know it was a school, but when you go in there, there's like living quarters in there. There's a kitchen that they've made with a fire with a pot on the top that's sort of bubbling away with some stew. There's probably about 15, 20 monks inside, just sort of chatting amongst themselves. Most of them are young, about half of them probably. But then the other half are your age or older, Morna, and you notice Tarman in the corner talking to a couple of them. She like looks over to you and waves and notices that you're quite battle scarred and bruised. She says, "Oh my, Morna, what's happened to you? All of you, both of you."
Did we tell you where we were going?
Yes, but you're back. You quickly. I assume
Yeah.
that must have been a success, right?
Yeah, we defeated Naxus.
Oh, thank the trespasser. What? How did you get back?
Hero teleported us with his hammer, and then he went off and into the Tempest.
Into the Tempest.
Yeah.
He teleported us away, and that was the last we saw of him. It seemed like he was going to sacrifice himself to put an end to what's going on there.
Well, then he is truly a hero.
Hmm.
You all are.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes doing what is best for your people is very painful. She looks around and nods, just sort of at the school.
How's it going here?
It's going fine. We've been having some more run-ins with the locals.
Run-ins?
Just words. We haven't had the ability to truly make ourselves completely unseen yet. And for supply runs, some of the monks go into the town. There seems to be an air of discontent.
If there's anything further afield that you need to pick up, maybe materials you can't purchase in town, any large quantities of materials that you would need to procure, I could help. I can use. Sorry, Mona. I have a demiplane I can conjure. You know, if we go somewhere, I can conjure that, fill it with stuff, and then the next day we can unload it from here.
Wow, your assistance would be greatly admired. You've already helped out a lot with the land and the safety. Of course. We tend to offer our services in return for items. So, if there is anything that you want from us, you can always ask.
Oh, there is one more thing. And I just take out the broken bits of my coin. It exploded again.
She takes the broken pieces and looks at them and says, "It seems like you will need an upgrade."
An upgrade?
Well, when these coins are made, they are sort of attuned to the place most important to the monk. I can show you how to make a new one, but it will take time, and you will have to go off and collect the resources that you need. But you should be able to have a number of places put on there if you wanted to.
Yeah, that sounds a good plan.
There are other... I've heard of monks who have attempted to put spells on their coins and things like that. I'm sure that we could work out together.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah, maybe make it out something a bit stronger this time. Some adamantine or something.
well, the trespasser is strong, but she is limited by her divinity, if you understand what I mean. On this plane, she has less influence. It's more tug of war between lots of different factions.
Hmm.
All right, so you sort of chill out with the monks for a bit. Chinook, when you went to your room, what sort of thing are you doing?
I was mostly just going to begin kind of penning together ideas for a kind of tale saga-ish thing from what I know of Kai 5 and mostly focusing on Gira for the moment.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. Well, in that case, so that's that. Pretty much what you're doing that day, then.
Yeah.
That night, Scrimshaw, as you're sort of meditating away, slash half being turned off, in the Erstort itself, out the window you see a sort of like blue light in the woods outside. It sort of like jostles you awake, and you look out the window and you see it.
Is it in the direction of the Grace of the Crow?
It doesn't seem to be. It seems to be more in the woods towards Darkbridge.
I'll head out and have a look.
Okay, so going downstairs and going out the front door, it seems to be like illuminating something behind a tree. This sort of like pale, icy blue light, which is sort of shining out there. It's still a bit in the distance as you're looking out at it.
Head on over to it.
As you walk over to it, it sort of begins to fizzle out, and sort of leaves you in the dark as it fizzles out as you get close to it. And then a bit further on, it sort of fizzles up again, a bit further away. But you notice as you get to the bit where it was, and you look down, it feels really cold around here, and your breath is sort of like frosting and misting in front of your face. And as you look down by where the tree is, there's like a sort of where the roots are is all frozen. There's this like big sort of block of ice almost that is just frozen there.
I'm going to throw up an Armor of Agathis.
Okay.
And then continue on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you follow the light, and it fizzles out once again, and then you notice a light a bit further on that fizzles up, and it seems to be leading you somewhere.
I'll keep
But
following.
each time, obviously, there's this like frost that's left behind, and sort of putting your hand near it, you can just feel how cold it is. It seems to be just sucking the heat in from everything around it.
Keep going.
Okay, so you carry on through the opening in the woods, and you notice that a bit further down, you sort of like stumble into this opening, and there's a figure standing facing away from you. They've got their cloak up. They're about your height, and sort of like looking at the woods in the distance, and they seem to have like icicles hanging from their cloak.
Hello?
The cloaked figure sort of just is carrying on looking away, doesn't move, doesn't say anything. There's a sort of like howling of the wind around them, and there's sort of like these now that it's coming into winter, it's starting to snow a bit, and there's a lot of sort of snow that's beginning to collect around them, and wherever they walk, there seems to be ice behind them.
Can I help you?
As you sort of like say that, they immediately turn around. Their entire cloak whooshes behind them, and they sort of rush up to you and just put their hand on your chest, and your vision fades. But as you look up, you notice its tail, and then your eyes open, and you wake up, and you're back in your room, and you'd meditated exactly where you sort of like first seen this light, and then you look out the window and there's no light there. As you look down, sort of, you feel a bit of a chill rush across your body, and you look down and you see a handprint, sort of like an ice burn, a handprint on your chest. Yeah, that's what you notice. It's sort of like, obviously it's a bit of a panicky thing.
Do I still have Armor of Agathis on me?
No.
Is the spell slot still gone?
Yes.
I'd like to just get up, go downstairs, and go over to where the first instance of the blue light was.
Yeah.
Just see whether the ice is still on there on the ground.
No, there's no remnant. It's as if nothing was there.
And like touching the ground, still just the same temperature as everything else.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll head back to the house, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, you head back in, close the door. It's very quiet. Sort of like quite eerie. Nothing seems to have been moved or anything like that.
I'll go sit in front of the fire.
Okay.
Kind of go back to my state there.
All right. So next day. So let's go over the next week then. What are people doing this week before the wedding?
Shunnock doesn't really need to make his armor look. Doesn't need to like change into clothes because his armor can just take whatever form he likes.
Yeah,
He can
yeah,
make
yeah.
himself look posh as anything. So he's gonna go. Oh, he's going to teleport away to VL, I think. If the library is still standing, and is going. I imagine from Shunnock's time in the Feywild, he would have some names to look up in the library for people who might not like Hackle very much.
Okay. All right. So you go off to VL for this. What's everyone else doing?
I'm gonna hang out with Grace of the Crow and help build stuff, and I also still wanna ask Aidmere to be my date to the wedding.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to go there at some point.
Yeah. So at some point, I'm gonna go there probably with Scrumshaw. Do they have a teleportation circle?
No.
There's
No,
no circle there, but once we're there, we can teleport away. We can go there and then go from there to Orastas.
I mean,
Yeah.
Shunnock could probably teleport you there.
Yeah, but aren't you
That's
going
true.
away to the
Well,
library?
you're going to VL, so Shunnock can take you on the way.
Okay.
At least to VL.
I mean, Chinook could teleport us to VL, and then Chinook could teleport us to the Frostbleed Peaks, and then I could throw up a teleportation circle, but not go through it myself, so that Chinook can just go to
Sounds cool.
VL. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. While you're there, could you pick me up some more supplies for teleportation circles? I'm running a bit low.
Can I have the gold?
Sure. 3. It's 50 gold per time. So if I give you 500 gold, well, actually, I'll give you 1,000 gold for another 10.
Okay, I will make a mental note to pick up some equipment. Well, the
Yeah, it's
necessary materials.
chalks mostly, special chalks. Go to a magic shop; they'll probably know what you're on about.
All right. So
we should
Shunnock
probably-
is teleporting to the Frostbleed Peaks, right? First.
Yes, I believe so.
Oh, FYI, Scrimshaw, the morning, obviously, you still have the handprint on your chest, and it doesn't seem to be, you don't seem to be able to remove it. It doesn't seem to be able to be wiped off or healed off or anything like that. But obviously, you wear clothes, so no one's going to
Yeah.
notice unless you tell them.
By the way, Chinook, while you're in VL, it might be good to, through I guess whatever means you deem fit, maybe get a message to the king that the dragons are being taken care of. Naxos is
I'm
no
just
longer
gonna
a threat.
march right into the palace.
We're not allowed to do that anymore.
I'm going to march right into the palace.
Well, that's your decision.
Yeah, we're not gonna be there, so
I am not going to march right into the palace. I'll try and find a way to get a message across. I mean, last he saw us, we were kind of defending the city from the dragon attack, so I imagine
Yeah.
if we show up, or if I show up, he'll at least want to have a bit of a chat about what's happening.
Yeah, and it's not like we're completely banned from, visiting the palace at all. Just we just don't have the run of the place.
Exactly, yeah.
We have to go and request to be let in like anyone else.
Yeah.
Request a meeting, maybe. Yeah.
I shall do so.
Awesome, cool. All right, so you're teleporting first to the Frostblue Peaks, are you?
Yes.
yeah.
All right, so Chinook, you begin to cast your spell. The lovely notes of musical brilliance turn into arcane magic around you as the spell begins to take off, and you are lifted off your feet down a magical tunnel and arrive. You have something from the Frostblue Peaks. It's fine. Arrive right there. Bonk. There we go. Okay, so yeah, you arrive in Raventhorpe in the central square with a thud. As looking around, it's very chilly. Yeah, it's absolutely freezing, and you can tell winter is really rolling in. But looking over, Aidmere is sort of chatting to someone by her hut, and looks over and notices you all. She waves you over.
I go over with everybody.
Oh no, I'm gonna be giving moral support.
Thanks, guys.
Not
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna
Aidmere,
lean into Scrimshaw's water leaves. This is
Yeah.
gonna be entertaining.
well, as you approach Mona, Aidmere sort of smiles at you and gives you a hug. Says, "Oh, you're back. Well, it doesn't feel like that long ago."
It doesn't feel like long ago, does it? We defeated Naxos.
Did you?
And
Ugh.
we've lost Gira along the way, though.
Oh. He struck me as a funny one, but after seeing his enthusiasm around defeating that dragon that came here, I thought I knew he was good.
Well, anyway, I wanted to ask you something. I say, sweating out of my head.
It's just like freezing, like your sweat is just freezing on you.
Sherlock bites into an apple. Chuckling.
Would you like to accompany me to the wedding? That's going on in Orostas of Illyriel and Aaron.
I don't know who they are, but sure.
You can see the sea. I got you this if you wanted to wear it. And then I give her the choker with ermine that lets you speak any language.
Ooh. She looks at it and she says, "That's beautiful.
It's magic.
What does it do?"
It lets you speak any language. and understand any language.
Wow. I've always wanted to speak Elvish.
Well, you can practice with Chinook, because I can't speak Elvish.
Well, what languages do you speak?
I can speak Cyril, I can speak Farron, and I can speak Primordial as well.
Ah, Farron. I've heard of that one. The the merchants from VL, they call Farron the language of love.
Oui, oui.
Anyway, well, I don't know about that, but yes, she like blushes and turns around and says, "I'm yeah, I'll put the choker on then. I'll try." And she just like fumbles with it. She can't quite find the lock.
Ray Goliath lady.
I
Yeah,
try and
her
help.
neck's quite thick. Like it's like these magical sort of necklaces. Yeah, occasionally they need a bit of adjusting. But yeah, you go and help. Yeah, you manage to find the loosest clasp. Yeah, she sort of says, "How do I use it?"
You have to spend some time with it to learn its like magical properties and tune up to its magical properties, and then it'll start to work.
Ooh. Well, brilliant. When is the wedding?
In about 6 days' time, we'll come back and get you on the way.
Well, you know, you're free to stay if you want.
Yeah.
All of you are. She looks over at Chinook as well, who's like eating an apple in the corner.
Yeah, that could be nice.
I'll get some fermented goat's milk.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I was I was just about to say it is quite expensive to just be popping around the place all the time. So yeah, maybe stay close. Stay in one place for now.
Well, you know, if you want to take me away, I'm free. I can take a bit of a sabbatical for a week or two.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Do you want to come to Urstwalt with us?
Is that your house?
Yeah.
Is it as big as mine? And she points to her like quite small hut.
You definitely have more land under your control, but the house itself is a little bit bigger. Maybe you can
Ooh.
find it for yourself.
Right. Well, let me pack a bag. And she zooms in and shouts to someone that, "Hold down the fort. I'm going on an adventure."
I give Morda like thumbs up finger guns like
I turn around and give him a thumbs up right back.
I said, Mona, I speak Elven too, right?
Didn't know that.
Did you just jump straight to me because I'm an elf?
Yeah.
I mean, I've spoken. I think I've spoken Elven since before you were born, right? How old are you?
Me?
No, Chinook.
I was born hundreds of years ago. Well, maybe even longer.
Well, I mean, same.
Maybe even longer.
I don't remember the day I was taken from the material plane and brought to the Feywild. I don't remember the year. All I remember is it was quite some time ago. And that I am nowhere near as old as I should be.
Cool. So we're going to VL and then going to Urstwalt.
I think we're just sending Chinook on to VL, right? Or we can.
Oh, then you could go.
Or I guess if Admir's coming with us, then she could come to VL, and then we could go from there. Or
Yeah,
I guess
sounds
depends
good.
where we want to stay for the week. I mean, Chinook's the one that can teleport us around for free, so I feel like either we stay with him or we make one more trip. You know.
Yeah.
Alright.
Why don't we go to VL and then you can buy your bits, your chalk for your.
I'll give you your money
That's
back
true.
if you want to go buy it.
Sure. I mean, yeah. If I'm coming anyway, then might as well make sure I get the right bits.
Exactly.
All right.
I
Well,
was
Might
going
be a
to
bit of
spend
a,
all of the tavern anyway.
Might be a bit of a culture shock for Aidmere going into the city. Has she
Aidmere
been
comes
outside?
out of her hat with just like a small sack of like a couple of spare changes of clothes and some bread. She's like, "We're going to somewhere with people, right? We're not going into the
Like-
jungle."
Yeah, we're gonna stop by VL first.
Amazing. Well, maybe I can get some clothes.
Yeah, that's true. We both need clothes for the wedding. I mean, you could wear that if you want, but I'm gonna get new clothes.
Well, they say, humans know fashion. So,
Do they
my
say that? Every human I've met, well, no offense to you, Mona, every human I've met has been terrible at fashion.
From what
I mean,
from what
I
I
just
hear,
wear-
because they barely live long at all, they keep up with trends better.
Ah.
It's like 5 years to a human is quite a long time.
Yeah, we've been wearing this sort of thing for thousands. So I want to experiment with some new fashion.
Ooh, maybe we could get matching dresses. That's cool, right?
What color?
I usually just wear blue.
Oh no, we should both wear black.
But it's a wedding.
Oh, why can't you wear black to a wedding?
Because black's for when people die.
People
always-
die at weddings. Especially here.
Mm.
All right, well, I'll wear white then. Fine.
You should wear
No,
red
you're
at
not
the
supposed to
wedding.
wear. You're not supposed to wear white either. Black
What?
and
You
white.
can't wear
banned.
black or white?
No, they're banned.
All right, blue it is. Now I know why you would like to wear blue.
Yeah, it's easy.
You just wear it anywhere. All right. All right. So, who's? So now, are you being taken to VL? All of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna circle us there.
Edmir's like, so where's your cup?
No, where we're going, we don't need carts.
Oh, we're gonna magic. Oh, we're doing the magic. Okay.
Oh, yes, I would recommend, have you teleported before?
No.
I would recommend, holding very tightly, perhaps onto Morna. It can be quite bumpy for your first time.
Yeah, the change of the floor can sometimes put you off a bit, but it is a continuous thing. It may feel like there's a moment where there's no floor, but there is a floor.
She's like, it's safe, right?
Yeah. You know like when you get to the top of a set of stairs and you go to you think there's another step, so you go to take a step, but there's actually no step there, and for a moment you feel like you're falling.
What's a step?
It's like just look around to the you know when you misjudge the height of a rock
Oh yes.
to
yes,
jump on top of, and then you start to fall a little bit, but you're fine.
Yes,
it's
yes,
a bit like that.
Okay. Well, I will try and hold my ground. She says, "Am I going to need to bring my axe?"
I mean, it can never
if you
hurt.
want.
But
I
I
bring
would
my bow.
recommend bringing your axe to the wedding.
Oh.
People tend not to die at these funerals.
Oh, you foreigners and your culture. She says, "I'll just take my bow. It's less threatening, I think."
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you begin to cast the teleportation circle, and it whooshes up in front of you, and one by one, each of you step over, and Aidmere seems a bit like scared about stepping over, but with your assistance, Morna, she steps through and is whooshed away as you all are whooshed over to VL. where the city, where you arrive at the sort of market in the central square. The first thing you notice is that it's quite quiet. Actually, there's not as many people out in the central square as you would usually expect. There's a lot more soldiers out and guards out.
Probably
And
something to do with the dragon attacks.
yeah, and you look around and you notice that there's like a lot of the buildings around the market square have like scaffolding up or are in the process of being demolished because they're just fucked. There's this sort of air of yeah, it's very grey and very sort of people are keeping their noses down and are a bit nervous. But as you arrive on the central square, a few guards come up to you and immediately start to ask you questions.
Nope.
What is the purpose of your visit?
I'm looking to buy a new dress.
I both need to discuss the matter of the dragons with the king, and I also need to check out the library. This one wants to go shop. These two want to go shop. Well, these three want to go shopping.
Well, you do know we're at a state of war, right? This is no longer an open city.
With the dragons?
Yes.
The dragons aren't a threat anymore. We just dealt with that.
Maybe we should all go and speak to.
Yeah, this is actually.
Emperor Wolfram.
Yeah, this is actually the topic of discussion that we have to bring news of.
Yeah.
We're quite closely involved in
Yeah.
that conflict.
Shouts to a couple of the guards and he says, "Take them directly to the king. Do not stop at anyone." And they nod and say, "Come with us, sirs and madams," and
Okay.
they begin to lead you down the main central square and the main King's Road into the palace quarter where the other teleportation circle is that you used to go to, but more scared of going to now. And the guards are stopped by other guards and talk, and they all sort of look you up and down, but they all recognise you, and they know who you are.
And there's 8-Bit who's also just there.
Yeah, Aidmir's just like, this is awkward. Like this is like the biggest city she's ever seen. She's like lost almost. She's just like every time she's not like led somewhere by a guard who's constantly poking her and telling her to like keep her eyes on the road. She's just looking around at all the like people who are watching through the shutters and throwing their urine pots out the windows and that sort of thing. And she's just like shocked with how many people there are around.
Oh, Roxanne looks a bit different.
Amazing. All right. Well, anyway, so you get led into the palace, but just before you see the main gate leading into the palace quarter, Edmure looks up and she's like, "That's the biggest building I've ever seen." And
Yeah, it's
then
big, isn't it?
once you go through the gate, she sees the palace behind it, and she's like, "Whoa!" But again, this like front palace quarter, this is where you fought the dragons before. So there's a couple of the pillars are knocked over, a couple of statues are sort of being repaired. The gardens are fucked. Like there's a few gardeners out trying to like reseed and replant their lawns and stuff. But you're
Magnolias!
yeah. But you're led up to the palace, and once you're led inside the palace, before long you're shuttered into a room, into one of the war rooms, and Wolfram is in there talking to a few people. And he looks up and he says, "Well,
It's dealt with.
Naxos is dead.
Very dead. Very, very, very dead."
Wolfram sort of slams his hands down on the table and sort of begins sort of sobbing with relief. One of the generals says, "How can we take their word? Do you have any proof?"
Oh shit.
Well, we were kind of whisked out of there before we were able to, I suppose, gather anything up. But do we have any proof? Is there any way we can verify this? I mean, I guess there's only our word, really, right?
Well, Wolfram looks up and says to the general, "I take them at their word. If they say they've done it, they've done it. They've never failed me before." And then General says, yes, my liege, I'm just suggesting that... And he says, that's enough. Well, if you say you've done it, then I believe you. You seem to have come back light-handed.
Yes, Roxon is fine. He just decided to
Have a
go.
bit of a vacation.
Yeah, he decided to have a bit of downtime. Gira, unfortunately, is no longer with us. We believe he sacrificed himself to put an end to the Tempest and all that was going on there.
Yeah. He says, and who is this? Looking over to Aidmere.
This is Aidmere. This is actually Roxon's sister.
Oh. Well,
And-
your brother was a great ally of mine for a long time.
And of
It
course
still is.
the leader of the Goliaths now.
Oh, you are the leader. I see. We have communicated by correspondence a few times, but only through proxy. So, well, you and your people are graciously welcomed in our land. And he's like nodding, and she's like, okay. Thanks. And he's like, he turns to one of the magisters and says, get the correspondence out, and make sure everyone knows across the whole of the continent that the dragons have been dealt with.
Hopefully this should at least lighten the spirits a little around town. It seems a bit tense. Understandable.
Yeah. He beckons to you all and says, come with me, and leads you into his private office.
Okay.
You go into his private office, and he sort of takes a book off the shelf and opens it up, and concealed within the book is a bottle of like really expensive alcohol. And he begins to pour out a few glasses of it and hand them out to you all. He says, I thought this would be the end of me, this dragon thing.
Yeah. So this will be wasted on me, and I'll slide it to Aidmere.
Adria sort of smiles and takes two takes two of the glasses.
I'm lagging, so I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect.
Okay,
Oh,
no problem.
okay.
Wolfram says, I wanna give you something as a
Oh.
reward.
There we are.
Hello.
Well,
All right.
The blue.
thank you.
Yeah, he says, I feel that you have all been working overtime pretty much to not just to save this continent, but also to save my ass. And I know that I've had a lot of luck in being king so far, and how I became king, and how my reign has gone. But I don't want to be one of those kings who attributes luck to skill or anything like that. I want the people responsible for helping me to be known.
I think it's quite good of you to recognise. Like you say, I think some people, they just attribute any success to their any success is them, and any failings are those around them.
Yes, and I'm sure you probably understand what I mean when I say that I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I
don't think anyone ever really knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I
They
think
have an idea
it's
as to what they're doing, but they don't fully know.
yeah. At some point up the chain, there's just not enough people doing it to really know.
Yeah. It's every action, every ally I make makes 10 enemies. Every action I do, every person I upset, I have to balance it, and I have to do things that might not always be right. They might not always be good. They might not always be just, but they have to be done. Well, I plan to create a post for you all.
Oh.
One that is official, not just in the eyes of my government and here in the Empire, but across the breadth of the continent itself.
Sorry, what's that? I was lagging again.
A post, a sort of a position for you all.
Ah,
One where you're recognized as protectors of the realm.
What would this entail? What would change?
Well, we'd probably have to give it a name. It'd be some sort of council. I also intend to have that Erin Kesserer on there.
That's smart. She's very clever.
As well as a number of other people who will be presented to me. But it will be a council of the brightest and most successful and powerful figures in the land, dedicated, well, in Orthaid, dedicated to the protection of the realm and protection of our way of life. It will be a council of people from across the continent, so there will be people from Faranor, there'll be people from Canault, there'll be people from even the Commonwealth. I plan to involve them in this. But you will be permanent members of it. Your voices will effectively have the same strength as a national community, as a state.
Well, I mean, with the upcoming events in well, not sure how long, the planet born dead and all that, it's probably going to be necessary. Can't do it ourselves.
One thing this war against the dragons has done is it has allowed a lot of our differences in the different governments across this continent to put them to one side and stand against the dragons as a unit. So we hoped that this council will continue that, even in a time of peace.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yes.
And just wait until you see what else I have planned for you.
Oh.
Well, I've been raising money for the war effort, and now I have full coffers, and the war's over. So obviously, pay off my loans, and then you can be awaiting a sum of it.
Nice.
Well, that'd be useful. Yeah, we always we don't particularly splash out on luxuries, but yeah, gearing up for a tough fight is always expensive.
Yes. Also, I think I also want to name you the leaders, and you can do what you want with it. But I want to give you the lordships around the land of around Darkbridge itself. The people there haven't necessarily the people inhabiting those titles currently are causing a lot of trouble for me, and I'm constantly fighting them off, and they're constantly asking me to authorize violence on you.
Oh. Is this because we offered to pay the peasants more than they are?
No, lords just tend to do that.
It's just a thing. They just.
Well, I've been paying your taxes.
Oh, right, taxes. Oh, right, yeah, we probably should have been.
Fine.
Oh, sorry, yes, we probably should have been paying those, shouldn't we?
Yes, I've been obviously keeping it away for a while, but yes, yeah, they didn't like the special privileges I was giving you. But you saved my life on numerous occasions, so if I have to give anyone special privileges, it would be all of you.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I didn't realize that was happening.
So you'll have to come up with a name of your house.
House
Um,
Clive.
it's down to you. But
Let's think about it.
yeah, get that to me in the next year or so. We can make it official.
I was also wondering, is the library at all damaged?
Unfortunately, the fires spread through much of the city. We are in the process of the magisters are currently in the process of trying to see how far the damage has gone. We're not quite sure yet. It does seem to be substantial, though.
Right. I'll have to look elsewhere then.
Well, if you need access to any library, I can give you a seal that will probably get you access into it. Maybe the city of Lavar. They have documents reaching back to even the days of the Mistrons.
I'll have to have a look.
But anyway, I need to have meetings and tell people all the news. So please, thank you. I will be in contact.
Okay.
He sort of like rushes out. We can hear him like go woo woohoo as he runs down the corridor away.
Right. Well,
Adrian is like, he's an emperor.
Yeah.
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 Do you not like have battles where the strongest become the leader or whatever?
No.
Oh no, that doesn't really work with larger numbers, because then everyone just kills the person who's strongest because there's so many of them, and the person who's strongest can't actually use their strength.
Oh.
Plus, at that point, there's so much stuff to deal with that you don't really have time for any fighting.
Yeah, I suppose when it gets to the point where you don't know everyone in your town by name, it's quite hard to have like accountability for them.
Yeah. Plus, like, what are the odds that the person who's strongest happens to be the best at leading?
Hey, what you say?
Obviously, not counting your culture.
No,
Hey, did you want to?
Hey, it's fine. Hey, it's fine.
Didn't you want to go clothes shopping?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, it's okay. Like I know that I'm the chief because my father was the chief, and because Roxxon wasn't allowed to be. But no one's challenged me for the title yet. So
Don't say that. Don't say yet. That it's gonna happen now.
Well,
Why
this
did
is
you have to say that.
well, what I'm saying is that I have to keep myself prepared just in case. And there's a aura of diplomacy that goes into it in dealing with all these numbers of people that you know that if you piss them off, they may challenge you for your title. It is stressful.
Well, if you want to do any sparring during the week, we're here.
Yeah, we could
Not with me. I don't do fighting that way.
have a fight.
Yeah. All right. Let's go clothes shopping first, and then we'll ruin all the dresses. All right. So so all of you, leave the palace and enter into the city. But let's take a break here, shall we?
Okay.
All right.
So come back in 15 minutes or so.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
See you in
see.
a little bit, Russian spammers.
All right, welcome back. So just before the break, we've gone into sort of period of on and off downtime. So over this day, you are now shopping, going about. This is a cue sort of beach episode montage of Morna taking Aidmir to all the clothes shops. Like most of them are closed, but there are one or two open. You know, they have to keep the necessities open. A lot of shops obviously were damaged by the attack, but the ones that are surviving and the ones that are still open are clearly the successful ones. There's not really chains, but there's close to chains as you can get. You know. So yeah, you're going around. What are you doing, Chinook? Yeah. What sort of thing do you want to do now?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I guess look around for like. Maybe look around like magic shops or any kind of shop. I don't know, really. Maybe see if there's any bookshops about Fae stuff.
Okay.
I don't know.
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
And Scrimshaw, what are you doing?
I need to go get those teleportation circle components.
Okay, yeah, you go off and get them. That's fine.
Cool.
It's taking its time. When that bitch.
Yeah, that.
Do you want me to roll for it?
Assuming that wouldn't take too long, I'd probably just meet up with the gals.
Are you going to go clothes shopping as well?
I mean, Scrimshaw doesn't need to get anything, I don't think, but he'll just tag along.
A new suit.
Oh,
This is
natural
his-
20, Chinook.
This is his suit.
Ah.
All right, well, you got a natural 20 on your check. All right, so you go off into a small, quite darkened bookshelf in the corner of town. One that bookshop.
It's just a single shelf that's just in the center.
It's
Yeah,
all that was remaining of a building that was burnt down.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you go into this bookshop that coincidentally has a lot of bookshelves in it. It's dark and there's sort of rugs on the walls. There's like one tiny source of light, which is this sort of like alchemical candle oil lamp that is just situated on a desk, where one of the shopkeepers is sort of huddled over, binding a book at the moment. It seems to be some sort of notebook, and he looks up to see you enter, and he says, he doesn't actually say anything. He just sort of looks up. He looks like he's about to say something. Nothing really comes out of his mouth, and he just looks back down at the book and begins binding it again. Notices that you've entered, but you begin looking around. There's rows and rows of very old, very collectible sort of tomes that this person has collected and is reselling. These are clearly books that, for people with very specific interests in certain things. They're not very generalized books. They're not books that you'll find in a library that might have records and data of official things. These are more like handwritten sort of notebooks, maybe written by magisters, written by people, practices of the occult, perhaps. All sorts of people who generally sort of fit your vibe of this type of thing you do when you go around writing. So you do find a book on Fae, and sort of looking through it, you don't necessarily find any information leading to Hakul. But there is one name that keeps popping up, and this is clearly the person who's written the book, and you sort of go to the front binding, and you notice that the book was written only 2 years ago, even though it looks a lot older than that. Perhaps he had it in his collection for a while, was writing it for a while. But the name on the book that strikes your interest and that you might want to search up and look down is this name here. Hang on. Yeah, which is Reject Holdale. Oh, Holdale. Yeah, Reject Holdale. Doesn't seem to be a magister. It would say Magister Holdale or something on there. But this person has a lot of knowledge of the Fae. You can just tell by reading his account on the Feywild. It'd be very surprising if he hasn't been there before. but there's a sort of brief biography at the start which says that he lives in VL. Yeah, that he lives in VL with his partner and wife and children and stuff. So,
His partner and wife.
well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm happy to see that this whole land is open to polyamory. I'm
Yeah.
so pleased.
Well, yeah, it's a thing. So, anyway, so next up, so that's a name that keeps popping up, and there's like 3 or 4 of these books, and you're like, well, this guy might seem good for an interview or to talk to because he might be able to help you out.
Yeah, I'll look for him over the week or something.
Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. And then Morna, Scrimshaw, and Aidmere, what are you up to? Should go and shopping.
Looking for dresses.
Yeah, what kind of dress? Because obviously Aidmere has no eye for fashion at all.
Neither does Morna. This is the problem. We need Chinook here.
I have proficiency with a disguise kit. Does that also give me proficiency in fashion?
A roll will determine your proficiency in fashion. If Morna, you are okay to trust Scrimshaw with his choices of attire. All right, give me a. What would be? Give me just a wisdom check.
Okay, is that with proficiency in disguise kit or?
Yeah. All right. Fine.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
10.
Oh,
I'll use lucky.
Okay.
18.
There we go.
Okay. So, after a couple of hours, Mona, you and Aidmere are quite tired out by trying out rather mediocre dresses, and Scrimshaw sort of pipes up and offers to help out. Surprisingly, you're not quite sure how he knows this, but he leads you to this dress shop, sort of down an alley. Whether this is something, Scrimshaw, that you just happened to just stumble across, or you somehow knew about it. You lead the two in. There's a sort of elf lady. She seems half elf, quite young, maybe about 18 or 19. An old teenager, sort of behind the counter, just sort of looking at her nails and just seeming rather bored. But as you enter, she sort of tuts and says, "Another customer." And there's a voice behind the back of the shop that sort of shouts out and says, "Mavreen, and she comes out and says, "You're supposed to greet the customers when they come in, not just tut." And this is an older elf lady. She seems like full elf, with sort of like long blonde hair tied up in braids. She's wearing a really nice sort of floral dress that has these golden flowers sort of stitched into them. She looks up and says, "So you are here to find the best dresses in VL, are you?"
Yes, we are.
The best. The best, I say, yes. Would you like something that we have currently available, or are you here for a consultation about a sort of tailoring appointment?
Oh, something available because we've only got a week.
A week? Ah, I see. Yes. Well, is this for both of you? All 3 of you?
No, just the 2. Unless Scrimshaw, you want a dress?
I mean, I've not worn a dress before. I don't think it would go with the beard. I'd have to get it shaved, and I'm a bit concerned. Yeah, I'm a bit concerned what would happen if I shave it.
Very well.
Starts bleeding.
So for the first of you, and she walks over to you, Morna, and she says, "Well, I think that is blue a thing, or are you okay to go for something different?"
We can go for different colours.
Okay, so we're coming into winter now, and blue is quite depressing, I think, in winter. It's just it's one of those sorts of colours that makes you feel colder than you actually are. So I like to have an opposition to that. Be the fire that you wish to be. And she sort of pulls out, and she says, she pulls out this dress that is sort of like an orangey, glowing. It seems to glow and has this sort of like moving lava almost print on it. It sort of does look like lava as it moves. And it's very skin tight. It's very sort of like it doesn't have sleeves. It's sort of open collared, and the actual dress itself goes to just above your knees. But she's like, well,
Yes, I like it.
I do. It does come in different colors. I have one in this sort of lava print, and I also have one in green. This is a sort of green lava effect. It does look a bit more evil, but some people like that.
Is it like a fire cape from RuneScape?
I do not know what RuneScape is. I do not, but I did get the material from someone who makes fire capes. Yes.
Ooh. Do you have one for Aidmere, my friend here?
Well, I was thinking you have a rather different body type, and I have exactly the thing for someone like you. And she goes and pulls out this sort of like sundress, like sort of summery, flowy, like blue floral dress. Sort of a slightly bigger one for Aidmere. But she looks at it and she's like, "I've never worn anything like that before."
Try it on.
Woo. All right, she goes into the changing room, and after a few minutes, are you going to go change as well?
Yeah, let's both change.
So you both put your dresses on. All right, so you come out and look in the mirror. You'll wear it. It fits very nicely on you. The owner of the shop says, yes, brilliant. Now this will certainly make well, it will certainly attract eyes wherever you go. That's for sure. I mean, it glows in the dark, and she sort of turns the lamp off, and you see that you're actually like shedding light quite a lot.
That's cool.
And
I'm gonna have to use an attunement slot on this dress.
No, it doesn't. It's not an achievement. But it does just like passively give light. So if you wear it, you can just give light wherever you go. Obviously, that means you are easily seen, and you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
But and then Aidmere comes out. She looks quite sort of nervous and shy, and sort of and like walks out and but it looks nice. It's flowing. It's long. The owner of the shop goes up to her and says, "And this has a very special thing it can do. All my dresses do something." And she sort of goes up to the back, and where there's the clip that clips the sort of neck line on, she like presses it, and all the flowers on the sundress just like become real flowers and sort of begin like poking out the dress. And there's this sort of like smell of pollen and nectar and stuff that sort of like fills the room up. And then the flowers just like eventually just morph back into the dress.
So fancy.
Yes, I wouldn't recommend wearing that around wasps, or bees, or anything that will be attracted to that. But it is a very pleasant dress for a very pleasant lady. And Aidmere sort of blushes a little bit.
Okay, what do you think, Aidmere? Are you gonna get it?
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
How much is it?
Yeah. How much is it?
The lady says, "Well, you two look like very, very lovely first-time customers, and I always have a discount for my first-timers. I remember people's faces, and I have discounts for more loyal customers as well. So if you come a few more times, I might give you another discount. But I can do these two for 1,000 gold pieces." And Aidmere says, "Sure, I can afford that."
What?
Yeah, I'm not that poor. Hey, look, I've come on holiday.
Okay.
Merchants have been coming into the Frostbeard
Do you
Peak
wanna
for
go?
ages.
Do you wanna go 500 each?
Sure.
Or-
Well,
okay.
I'll pay for my dress. Fine. I can pay for yours.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Thanks.
All right. She like hands over some platinum, and the lady says, excellent. Well, please come again. I will remember your faces. Your names are?"
Oh, Morna. And this is Aidmere.
Brilliant. Well, I am Madame Hedger.
Okay.
And you remember my name, and I will always be able to make you dresses and sell you things. And yes, please come again. All right. So as you leave, are you going to keep your dresses on, or
No,
go back into your other clothes? All right.
I'm gonna go back into normal clothes.
Yeah, she sort of like she folds them and puts them in a bag. The bag obviously has like a half naked like elf on it. It's like a Hollister sort of bag.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay then. In that case, so what's your plans for the next week? Are you going to stay in VL, or are you going to go back to Osterwald? Or?
The others can go back to Erstwall. I'm looking for this Holdale.
Ah, yes. All right. What are the other two of you doing? Hello.
I'll probably hang around VL. Don't want to be just like spending needlessly teleporting around.
You can't hear us.
You.
Is that a no? Oh, he's gone.
Oh. All right. Well, we'll go with you first. So what were you saying, Scrimshaw?
I'll probably just hang around VL.
Yeah. All right. Well, did you want to get a room in a hotel, or a couple of rooms or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's plenty of hotels around. You can. It's going to be. Well, how nice of a hotel do you want?
Scrimshaw's not particularly fussed. He'll take whatever's around, really.
Okay. Well, the standard rate is about a gold piece a night.
Ooh. It's gone up.
Well, you don't want to. You don't want to stay in like a shit one. You want to stay in one that has like a sense of comfort.
I mean, he just needs a chair, really.
Yeah. Well, it's more about
Chair
you
in
don't
the
want to be
corner.
harassed by random people. Like,
That's true.
you're quite famous now, and going to. Basically, you're probably not going to get much rest if you go to one that's cheaper than that.
Oh,
That's fair.
sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm looking for Holdale for other
Yeah.
ones.
Okay.
So
So,
that'll be 6 gold, I guess, for the week.
yeah. All right. So, Mona.
Yeah. Sure. I'll
Yeah?
do the same.
Okay. Aidme is like, do I get a room? Question mark.
You could share Morna's room.
Yeah. We can share a room.
Yeah, we can share.
Yeah, we can all three of us. Screw I'll just sit in the corner.
It's fine. I don't need a bed. I can just sit in the corner.
I like to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Aidme is like, oh yeah,
No.
fine. I'll. How much is it? A gold a night.
Yeah, but I'll pay for you. Don't worry.
Huh?
You paid for the dresses. I'll pay for this.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Cool. All right. So
So
Mona and Aidme, Chinook, are you getting a room?
Yeah, I'll get my own room.
Yeah. Okay.
And to be clear, I will get my own room.
Yeah. All right.
You
All right,
share with
so-
Chinook.
I mean, you two can share if you want, Chinook and Scrimshaw.
Sherlock likes his privacy.
Yeah, fair. You're doing some research anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So then, yeah, you retreat to your rooms, fade to black. Over the next couple of days, then Chinook, you all right. So you're looking up this Reject Holdale guy.
Yeah.
You ask. Give me a investigation check again. All right. So you speaking to people around the town. A couple of them lead you to a quarter that you've never been to. It's called the Seymour District. And going there, so you're sort of led to this townhouse that's sort of just off near the city walls, near the river, and you're told that's where he lives.
Okay. I'm going to knock at the door then.
Okay, so you knock at the door. After a couple of minutes, a young woman opens the door. Maybe about 15, wearing a sort of like just a sort of day dress type thing. She says, Hello.
Hello. I was hoping to meet a Mr. Rejak Holdale.
Reject? Yes. Well, of course. Wow, it's been a while since anyone called him that. Yeah. Well, what sort of thing did you want him for? He lives. He does live here. He's my dad.
Um, some uh, some scholarly questions I mean to ask of him. I am a fan of his books on the Fae.
Oh. Well, sure. And she sort of looks behind her and says, "Dad, there's someone for you. He's asking about your books." There's a sort of like a commotion in the kitchen as something gets dropped, and you hear like a fuck. And he comes out and says, "Damn it!" And he's like got an apron on, and he's clearly been baking something, and he's like caressing his thumb like he's just burnt it. He comes to the door and says, he's a sort of like middle-aged man. He's probably about 45. He's a human. He says, "Yes, hello."
Hi. My name is Shanok Fadad. I was going by the bookstore the other day and I found your marvelous tomes on the Fae. I was wondering if perhaps you could answer some questions I have.
What questions may they be?
They're related to the archfey known as Hakul.
When you reference that name, he sort of like becomes a bit shifty, and he looks over your shoulder and looks down the alley and sort of begins to look like he's a bit worried that someone might be listening in. Where do you hear that name?
I'm from the Feywild.
He immediately tries to close the door.
I put my hand on the door.
Okay, yeah.
I'm no friend of Hakul.
How do I know you're not lying?
Fuck. Can I cast glibness?
You can if you want. You can probably just try and convince him.
Yeah. You can trust me. I know of his tyranny and everything he has done.
All right, make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Persuasion.
Okay, 27. That's good enough. He opens the door slightly, and he sort of like peeks out through it, and you sort of see behind his sort of quite nicely kept short beard, there's like a bit of a scar on his cheek, and like on where his cheek sort of attaches to his lips, and you notice that underneath the hair is like marks where at one point there must have been piercings of some sort on his mouth. He opens the door and says, "Well, you better come in here then, if you're going to talk about that."
Okay. I enter.
Okay, so he leads you into the sort of study where he tells his daughter to leave. He's like, "Out," and she's like, "Oh," and he throws a log on the fire and he says, "So, Chinook for Dad, what is it that you truly want from me?"
I want to kill him. I want to destroy him. I want to bring him low.
It's not possible. He's too powerful. He'll kill you way before that.
We killed Naxos. Me and the rest of the Clyde. The whole world has been saved several times over because of their and my efforts. If I believed something was truly impossible, then I would have given up by now.
Well, you better hear my side of it. He goes over and begins pouring some tea out for himself. He says, "Do you want some tea?"
Sure.
He sits down at the table and says, "A long time ago, I was a magister. Probably not that long ago from your perspective as an elf, but it feels like a different lifetime ago now. I sort of started early. Most magisters start at 16, 17 when they go to Lavar for the first time. I got in when I was 12. And by the time I was 16, I'd become an expert magister and qualified fully. And began my first assignment. Well, whilst working for quite a minor lord here in VL, I began to have contact with some fey creature. Some voice out in the distance. He told me that I could be a lot more powerful if I only gave over my voice. If I gave over my creative will to him. He points to his mouth and his lips and says, "And for that I took the vow. I made a portal. Found a tuning fork that would take me there, guided by Hakul's voice. And I went to his palace, determined to gain more power through his efforts. I was there for... I wasn't there for long. But when I returned, the world was much more different. Years had passed, and everyone I'd known was old or had died. And, well, he took my voice. He stitched my mouth up. He promised me he'd grant me power, and when I got back, I'd stumbled. I had a stumbling block. I wasn't able to use most spells that required vocal components. And he told me that he would one day teach me how to use them and harness the power he'd given me. I'd been locked in. So now, well, it took most of my energy, my will, just breaking free from him, getting to a point where I feel confident in being able to speak out about him. Fortunately, no one's reading my book, so I was surprised that you managed to... No one's listening to me, that these forces are taking so many people hostage. And even though he is an archfey from a faraway plane, he has people here who would do anything for him. He surely plans to take over.
What's more, Mr. Holdale, is I have good reason to believe he's after an elder box.
An elder box. Yes, I know them from my research. What? Does he have one?
No, but he sent me to get one, but I know what he would do if he had it, hence why I wish to defeat him. As well as many other reasons.
Well, if we plan to defeat him, maybe I could try and contact the being that helped me get away from Hakul in the first place.
That would be very helpful. I do need allies.
It cost me a lot last time.
If it sees the removal of Hakul, then I shall pay any price.
Okay. He stands up and he opens a book and says, I found the name of an archfey. And in return, for not telling anyone the name. He helped me break free from Hakul. I fear that if you are here to hear me announce his name once more, he will think that I've reneged on that deal.
Very well. I shall leave then.
I will contact you. Where are you staying?
I didn't hear the name of the inn I was flagging.
All right, yeah, you just give him the name of your inn. Yeah, that's fine. He says, I will contact you there. Give me a couple of days.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and I am sorry for the immediate stresses.
Yeah. Very well. Well, you know where I live.
Yeah.
You can always contact me. All right, so he leads you out. All right, that's it. Sort of it for that day. During that night, Chinook, you have a bit of a rough sleep. Tossing and turning in your bed, you struggle to get any sort of sleep at all. But the brief bits of sleep you do get are filled with rather frantic visions of life back in the Feywild. There's people that you know and care about and love there, and you remember sort of being with them. And in these dreams, that it suddenly switches and flips, and all in the Feywild that sort of encompasses life and light and energy and excitement flips suddenly. So all the leaves on the trees turn into sort of blackened, burnt husks, and the grass is all burnt away, and all that remains is the black and white sort of checkerboard pattern of Hakul's palace. And that almost like his influence is sucking the life out of everything around him. And in these dreams, you see the faces of the people that you know and love, the energy being sucked away from them. And before you know it, you're unable to speak. Your mouth is being stitched up, and you're being assimilated into Hakul's order, or his grasp at order. But you wake up the next day, sweating, having sweated a lot in the bed. Scrimshaw, you having woken up, feel a bit of a burning pain in the handprint on your chest, and you look down at it, and it seems to have slightly, ever so slightly, but sort of grown. Like the outline around it, which was a bit burnt like ice, seems to be like spreading, and this sort of black sort of energy is sort of beginning to spread out from it, ever so slightly, maybe a millimeter or two, but it does seem bigger than it was yesterday.
I'd like to go find Chinook.
Yeah, well, he's in the hotel that
Yeah.
you're in.
Just go a few doors
You
down.
knock on his door. Yeah, that's right.
Sure. Come in. When you enter, Chinook is busy sketching the strange dreams he's had rather frantically.
Hey, sorry to bother you, but I mean, until very recently, I would have asked Gira about this, but I have something I was wondering if you could look at.
Grimshaw, if you have any unexpected swellings or lumps, I would recommend you find a cleric about it.
Well, I mean, you're the closest thing we have at the moment.
Sure.
You have healing abilities. I don't know if you'd be able to help, but I thought you'd be the best person to ask.
Healing isn't exactly my forte, but I can certainly have a look.
Okay, begins just like unbuttoning his shirt and revealing the handprint.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, the other night I think I saw Tail,
Right.
and he just like ran up to me and shoved his hand on my chest, and then I was back at home. And this thing's been burning a little bit ever since. I was kind of hoping it would go away on its own, but I think it's grown.
Okay. Right, let's see what I can do about this. Well, first of all, was there anything strange about Tail?
Well, he was icy,
Icy.
and I don't know, the way he just like ran at me, almost feral.
Yeah, it was like instantaneous. Like you had no time to react.
Yeah, and very quick.
Is ice a common theme with your whole deal?
Well, it has been with, with the visions of Yara. But I haven't seen. I don't think I'm particularly aware of any affinity that Tail had for ice. I've certainly used, my armor of Agathis and Tomb of. Well, I can enshroud myself in ice as an emergency thing as well. So there is some link there, but
Nothing like weird hand magic.
yeah, no weird hand magic. Also, this kind of burns, almost like, I guess, kind of like frostburn.
Does that sound like anything I've heard of? Like any specific like kind of curses or?
Make an Arcana check. It seems familiar. Can't quite place it. You have heard of this. You have heard of marks that curses have been able to bestow on people. But the whole situation about how Scrimshaw got the mark, it does seem strange. It just seemed like he could either have been dreaming, or it was an actual thing. And then he just happened to get the mark on him after the dream. You probably the situation is you probably are going to have to find Tail and ask for some sort of explanation if you think it's to do with Tail.
Yeah, we could try asking him. I personally don't know how to fix.
I mean, with
Yeah.
Gira, with Gira gone, how do we message him?
I don't have any spells that do that. I'm more a speak to the people in front of me kind of mage. We could try finding him.
Where? Would we just take quite a while?
I mean, judging by your dream, maybe he'll find you.
Possibly, but this thing's grown a little bit. Not sure how long. Not sure how long I want to wait.
Can I try touching the mark?
Yeah. Are you just going to touch it with your finger or poke something at it or what?
I'm gonna poke it with my finger.
Okay. When Chinook touches it, you feel like a sharp pain, Scrimshaw.
Sensitive.
It hurts. It's like it feels like an open burn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just curious. Did I feel anything? Like, did it feel like icy or?
Make a perception check. It does feel ever so slightly cooler than normal.
That was odd. Well, so my hypothesis is you were either dreaming and the mark happened some other way, or that did actually happen. But then why were you brought back to the house?
Yeah. Plus, I mean, if it was a dream, I cast a spell in the dream, and that spell slot was gone when I was back there. Plus, I don't really dream.
Hmm. Astral projection, maybe?
I don't know.
Well, whatever it is, it's affecting your physical body. Personally, I believe it's some form of curse. But
Hmm.
this sounds like a message as well, personally. Like Tails trying to tell you something. Either that, or he's gone and done something foolish.
I'm concerned about it being the latter. It didn't seem like him.
Well, I wouldn't say it's Ashigal, seeing as he rather hated Ashigal. That said, I wouldn't rule it out.
Morna and Aidmere sort of stumble by as you are sort of talking and with your door slightly open. If you wanted to join in, Morna.
What's going on?
Aidmere's like, I'm hungry. I'm going to get some food.
Okay.
Do you just enter with me, just kind of like sweating and frantically drawing things, and Scrimshaw just like showing me his chest?
Well, I imagine it's like your fingers like halfway in his chest.
Yeah.
The hand.
What's going on here?
Oh,
Um,
hey. Just like quick, like turn away quickly, button up the. Nothing's going on. Nothing's going.
It blushes. Scrimshaw just in blush.
Oh well. I'll just like kind of turn and show the mark.
I didn't do
Whoa. That doesn't look good.
that. Hey, Mona, try touching it.
No, don't, please.
What happens when you touch it?
It hurts.
You
Oh.
see the chest.
It's tender.
How did you get that? Was it from the dragon?
No. Not last night, but the night before.
Tiny Robert's at my door.
Sure. I saw Tail. Possibly.
Oh, what?
Though he was, he didn't seem himself. Seemed feral, fast, icy. It was odd. He put his hand on my chest. I seemed to pass out, wake up back in Erstalwalt, and this was here, and it's since grown. I was hoping I could sleep it off over the day or two, but seems to be stuck.
Maybe it'll heal.
We could try asking a cleric to remove curse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe?
that's a good idea.
Maybe Illyriel will know more about what this is.
Yeah, though as we come closer to the wedding, I feel like it's more and more rude to ask for her help.
Yeah.
Just let me find a cleric here.
We could do that.
Beforehand, speaking of strange dreams, and I'm gonna show the sketchbook with all of the horrible drawings. I had a very weird dream.
Right.
I was in the Feywild, and Hakur was draining people.
Draining them.
Draining the Feywild energy. I don't think the sowing of the mouth is just a form of obedience anymore.
Right.
I think he draws strength from.
Oh,
Maybe if we find a way to liberate people, he will be weakened.
can you just unsew their mouth?
I doubt it.
Have you
met
tried?
with- A lot of us have tried. Then again, those who do tend to be royally fucked over. I did meet one person who was unable to undo it, but he doesn't seem to be particularly happy with
Right.
bringing it up. I was just floating the idea out there. If when we do go there, it should be one thing we look at.
Hmm. Okay.
Right. Let's go.
Find
You
I'm
should
sure
go
a cleric.
You should go find a cleric. I'm waiting information.
Okay, so you two go off. So first thing you notice is that the actual official ordained temples in VL are obviously all part of the Tempest brand.
Yeah.
You could have a look if there's any secret temples around that have clerics that might be able to help you, or you could go to the official Tempest brand ones. It's your choice.
Yeah, I'll just go to the Tempest brand ones.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
go up to the main religious quarter. The actual the main cathedral itself, you noticed, was destroyed during the dragon attack. I think, yeah, one of the dragons destroyed it. So there's this big scaffolding building site, basically, where it was. And there's lots of different people going back and forth. A lot of the soldiers of the Tempest brand have been sort of drafted in and are doing most of the construction, as well as various peasant artisans and stuff like that. Stonemasons and the like. You do notice there are a bunch of clerics strolling around, and they have set up temporary offices and quarters just off the main street in sort of temporary wooden huts, basically. But knocking on one of them or speaking around, you're led to one of the rooms where there is a cleric on hand who is called Brother Esmond, and he sort of it's effectively the Tempest brand's like doctor stuff. It's like a GP basically.
Yeah.
So you go in, they're sat down. They probably see about 50 people a day. He's just there's like a little statue of the Tempest brand sort of like logo, which is sort of like a T, which is like on fire. As you walk in, he says, "Hello, my name is Brother Esmond. What is it that I can do for you all?"
Hi. So I don't know if this is particularly. I don't know if this would be appropriate for how do I say this kind of appointment, but I have an issue, and I'll just kind of pull out
I need some medication.
uh,
I need a penicillin shot.
I think it might be a little bit beyond the scope of regular medical care, and I'll show him the thing. Believe it may be a curse of some kind.
Oh, curses! Curses. He like
Yeah.
looks down at his holy symbol and holds out his hand over it and begins to pray. Titus, give me strength to cure this. This. He looks up at you, person of their ailment, and his hand begins to glow, and the holy symbol begins to glow, and you feel some. You actually feel the burning sort of sensation numbed as he does that. As he sort of pants and releases the grasp. You feel it come back, the burning sensation, and he looks up at it and says, "Curious. No, this isn't any curse. I might have to speak to someone a bit higher up."
Yeah, I thought that might.
You're in hospital and are like, I don't know what that is. Let me get another doctor. And the other doctor comes around. I don't know what that is. Let me get another doctor.
Until there's a room full of people looking at your bare ass.
I mean, he's basically probably a level 5 level 5 cleric.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, if it could be just like remove cursed or
Yeah,
dispel
yeah.
magic to lesser restoration, then yeah,
exactly. Or cure wounds.
yeah.
Like, basically, he looks at you and says, I fear that is a mark of evil.
What exactly is what exactly defines a mark of evil?
Well, it's evil and it's a mark.
Well, yes, but
Who
what
caused
differentiates-
this? What caused this to you? What caused this?
Some creature. Some creature put its hand on my chest and left this print.
And this happened here.
No, this happened out in the forest. In the forest, indeed.
If you give me your information, I will get you in contact with an inquisitor who might be able to sort your problem out.
Okay. Well, my name is Scrimshaw of the Clive Five.
Oh, he looks at Chinook and Morna. Oh, it's you. Well,
And waiting for people. It's just those two.
well, I think then I will get an inquisitor in contact. I'm sorry, I cannot help you anymore with that, but I will get you in contact with someone who might be able to do something.
All right. Thank you very much. Refer me to a specialist.
Yes, I will refer you to a specialist. Which
Thank you.
our only specialist is an inquisitor. And that's more, and he says, and that's more really, I think, for your monster situation than the curse. But anyway, I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore. I've got about 10 more people to see, I think, before my shift's done. So,
All right. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
all right, you go out, you see Aidmere sort of looking around. Wow, so many people building this stone hut.
Yeah. Yeah, rebuilding it after the dragons attacked.
I bet that was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't very nice.
Mm.
But we fought them off.
All right. Okay, so is there anything else anyone wants to do today?
No.
I don't think
No?
so.
Okay, so going back to the hotel room at night. Chinook, you haven't heard anything from the guy yet.
Okay.
All right, that night. All right, so Scrimshaw, as you're sort of sat in your chair, just listening passively to the sounds of the street, cats sort of meowing and fighting with each other, and foxes raiding through the local alleys for any scraps. You begin to count. Your burn really starts hurting. It's like starting to really start to grip you in pain. And as you sort of like tear off your shirt to look at it, to see if there's anything that you can do to help it out, you notice it is glowing. And the glow and the handprint is glowing, and in the center where the palm is, there's 3 sort of circles that are next to each other that are glowing, and it seems to be some sort of mark that is like glow, but the glow itself seems to be like an icy, frosty glow. And then suddenly it just like lets off, and it goes back to the sort of normal pain. But you look at it and you notice it's grown a tad bit. You're sure.
Okay.
All right. So the next day comes. Chinook, you had a better night that night, and Morna, I'm sure you probably had a good night. So that morning, so that morning you're up and about. Chinook, you get a note from the guy, saying that please do not contact me again. I don't want to have any more of this business.
Oh fuck. Okay. Well, shit. I close up the note, put it in my pocket. I just kind of sigh. Wait, can I? Weird idea. Can I,
Yeah.
by any chance, check the note to see if it's like being written by someone who is in pain or something like that, or like under duress or
Oh, sure.
whatever?
Make a perception check. Ooh, natural 20. You're getting some good natural 20s today.
I know.
All right, well. First thing you notice about it, sort of setting it down on the table and sort of putting a light source close to it, is that it seems to have been quite quickly written, hastily. And then right in the top corner, there seems to be like a little spatter of blood that has like been wiped off, and it's sort of like brown. And at first, it just looks like maybe a coffee stain or something. But you're like, no, that's definitely blood. That's all you notice from it.
Okay. I'm going to go into Grimshaw's room. Well, I'm gonna knock first. Hello.
I'll open the door and let him in.
Hi. I'm going to need your help, possibly saving someone and his entire family's life.
Oh, sure. What's up?
So I was investigating enemies of Hakul, and I came across one person, and he told me a few things, and then he sent me a note, and there's blood on the note, and I'm worried that he is currently in pain and or being interrogated / killed.
Oh,
I know where
Shall
he
we-
is.
should we go now then? Or...
Yes, please. We should grab the others. So.
I don't know. There's some weird sounds coming from that room. I don't know.
We best eat into it then.
You can knock on the door if you want, or you can go.
I think I'll.
Maybe
let-
the sending stone. So,
yeah.
Mona, if you're up, are you busy?
No, I'm not busy. What do you want?
We're going to investigate a murder or potentially.
Oh, I thought just wanted a week off.
You don't have to come, but just letting
No,
you
it's
know,
fine. I'll go.
it might involve murder. Adrian might be totally into that.
Well, she's not as powerful as us. I don't know if I want her there.
You hear a muffled "Hey" through the sending stone.
You can come if you want.
I kind of want to stay in bed.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go. I'll just go. I'll be back in a bit.
Okay, I'll see you later. All right, so you hastily get dressed and join the group. And the three of you make your way back into the Seymour ward of the city, Seymour district, and go back to the guy's house. The front of it seems fine. It's like a regular townhouse street, so there's people on the street walking about.
I'm gonna knock on the door.
Okay. As you knock on the door, like you don't hear anything from inside the house. No one comes up to the door. You know, half a minute passes, a minute passes, no one answers.
Mona, you are particularly great at opening doors, correct?
Yeah, I can give it a go.
Okay.
I use my thieves' tools.
I would like to stand in front of her so it looks like, so it just kind of, she's not opening it in like the middle of like everyone's view. The like.
Okay. All right. So you open the door. You easily unlock it. It's not really designed for the skilled monks. You step in, and the first thing you sense is it's just quiet. Last time you were here, it was a busy townhouse. There was, there was children, there was maids and servants around. There's no one, and all the candles have been snuffed out. They've got lids on. All the lamps. There's a sort of chill through the air as you step in there, and yeah, it just seems very quiet.
Hello.
There's no response.
Holdale, are you here? I would like to go back to the study where he had me in conversation earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so from where you are in the hallway, there's sort of like if you follow the hallway down, there is a sort of living room that goes into a study. You go through the living room, and then there's another direction where you can go towards the sort of bedrooms and kitchen and stuff, and then there's a staircase. So it's down to you. Did you want to go towards the study?
I'd like to check the study out first and kind of make my way up. Just kind of
Okay.
have a look around.
Who has the highest passive perception out of all of you?
Mine is 19.
Mine is 14.
Mine is 9.
Okay. All right, so Morna, as you step through and go through the sort of main hallway where the staircase is, you sort of gasp instinctively at the fact that sort of hanging from the open banisters is Rejak and all of his family. They're all hanging from it, and they've all been like hung via their mouths, and like they've through stitches in their mouths, and they're just sort of like hanging there dead.
Chinook, can you just come here a minute?
What is it? Oh no. No, 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 no. Fuck. Did this. He escaped and I did this. I'd like to start frantically looking around the house to see if he left anything.
Yeah. All right. So as you look around, you immediately notice that quite a lot of stuff has been looted.
Yeah.
By your estimations, having a look around, you think maybe 4 or 5 people had looted this house, but just with the amount of stuff that's been like torn over, like it wasn't one person.
Yeah.
So make a investigation check for me, and the rest of you, what are the rest of you doing? Scrimshaw and Mona.
I'll go to the door and keep watch.
I don't really know, uncomfortably stand looking at the dead people.
Okay, you hear Chinook sort of ransacking the study nearby. What did you get on your check? Investigation? 13. Okay, so you notice that a lot of stuff that might have been important has been removed. And you notice underneath his desk, there's like in one of the drawers, there's a safe. So you try and struggle with it, but you can't get it open.
Mona, could you help me with this?
Okay, sure. Do another these checks. Will I? Did I manage to open it?
Okay, so the safe itself, the actual mechanism of it is quite difficult to unlock. So you do struggle with it for quite a while, and after about a couple of minutes, you hear a knock on the door, out the front door, which you sort of closed behind you when you went in, and someone saying, "Mr. Holdale, you there? I got your message."
I just kind of put my finger up to my lips and I kind of hide in the room.
Yeah, I'll guess I'll hide as well.
Can I try to imitate Mr. Holdale's voice?
You can try.
Hello?
Make a performance check.
Performance. I have a plus 15, please. 28.
Nice. You're like a Kenku. He says, "Oh, Mr. Holdale, sorry. Yeah, I'm really sorry I'm late. I did get your note. I did bring it with me. So, can you let me in? I feel kind of awkward.
Sure, come into my study.
I don't have a key, hence why I knocked.
It's unlocked. You can come in.
Oh, yes, so it is." And he like struggles with the door, and it clicks open. Door creaks open, and yeah, no, you hear a gasp because the second he walks through the door and goes into the main hallway where the staircase is, he sees the hanging bodies of all those people.
As soon as he comes out, I'm gonna just kind of come around the corner and put my hand on his mouth.
All right, so you sort of like sneak round. He seems like maybe a 18-year-old, 19-year-old boy, like a student. He's wearing like a magister's robe, and he's got like a sack with a few books on the side. And as you sort of like, as he looks up and sees all these bodies and then feels you grab him, he casts Misty Step and sort of like vanishes out of your hands.
Counterspell.
Sort of behind you. Oh, you're going to counterspell it? Okay. Okay, that's fine. What's the rest of you doing? Are you going to try and like grab him?
As I'm doing this, I'm kind of like, look, it's fine. I'm trying to help.
I'll make a persuasion check with disadvantage because he doesn't quite know what's going on.
Okay.
Oh, a natural one.
Oh, fuck.
All right, so he says, please, I'm unarmed. I'm not gonna hurt anyone. Please don't kill me. Please.
We're not going to kill you.
Look.
But considering this, we only just saw this. Don't want to kill you.
Wait.
I'm just cautious.
We just got here.
Is that Mr. Holdale up there?
I'm afraid it is.
Oh. Sort of like relaxes in your arms and just sort of like, now you're just holding him up. As he's sort of just deflated. But he's like a young guy. He's got quite short, like a buzz cut, like black hair, and is clean shaven. He's got like some like round glasses on the end of his nose, and he looks clearly quite booky and stuff.
Look, I need you to be calm, and I need you to think very hard.
What do you want me to think about?
Why did Mr. Holdale ask for you to come here? This is very important. We're looking for the people that did this.
He said that people were after him, and here, just take a look at the note. And he sort of fumbles with his bag and hands you over a note. Basically says, people from long ago are after me. Please bring the artifact.
Okay, I think I know what's happening here. What artifact is he speaking of?
Nothing. Like, he's just like obviously lying.
Hey now, we're friends here. I'm gonna cast glibness.
Okay. Does he need to make a save on that?
Glibness. Hang on.
It just makes charisma checks a minimum of 15.
Oh yeah. All right, cool. All right, make a. What did you ask? Oh, you were asking. Oh yeah, make a persuasion check again.
Okay.
So with a minimum of 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a minimum of 30.
That's 30.
Case of the...
All right, so he says, "You guys are really you're not the ones who did this.
We're not. No.
Why are you talking like that?
What do you mean?
We got a
Good to
note.
know.
We got a note too.
Oh.
I'm gonna show it, and it's got blood, and point out the blood.
Hmm.
Yeah, when we came
Oh.
to it seemed suspicious, so when we came to check it out, oh, this is what we found, unfortunately.
So, okay. Oh dear. Then I'm not sure what this means for me, he says.
We can keep you safe. We just need to know what the artifact is and what it does.
I see. Well, it's this, and he reaches into his bag and he pulls out like this sort of clockwork, small, palm-sized, like it's like a ball, and it's more like a hemisphere. That's it. Like it's more like a hemisphere where it's half a ball, and then there's like a smaller ball inside on the other half. And there's sort of like open gears and stuff. And in the center, sort of popped into it, is what seems to be a tuning fork.
Okay, and what does this do?
Well, it was an invention of Mr. Holdale. I was a student. And can we move, please? All these bodies.
Of course, of course. We can go to our. Wait. No.
I'm gonna kind of touch my hand against the wall and cast the Magnificent Mansion.
Oh yeah.
Follow
Okay.
me here. We won't be followed, and only I can bring us in here. I can. People can't enter without my permission.
Okay. So you go in.
Can I bring the safe because I want to try and unlock it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you can drag that with you. It's quite heavy, but you and Scrimshaw can both carry it.
Cool.
All right, so you go in, and you're at the sort of lovely spring meadow type mansion. He says, "Is this the Feywild?"
Kind of. I'm from there, and this is kind of built off of one of my more favorite parts of the Feywild.
Knock off Feywild.
Knockoff Feywild.
Oh. Well, Mr. Holdale, he made it, and he explained it to me as if you can sort of use this tuning fork to attune to different planes or something.
Okay, good.
Sort of like an all-in-one tuning fork.
Yeah, you sort of rotate this, and he sort of grabs the tuning fork by one hand, and then the sort of spherical bottom half, and he sort of just twists it, and it clicks every time like it hits. Basically, like it goes click 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 as he moves it around.
Hey, we don't want to actually use that.
Oh, it's fine. It's if I press this button, it opens up.
Oh, okay.
Wait, opens
But-
up?
It opens up a portal.
Oh. Oh, wow.
But it's quite hard to use, and well, let's say that yeah, finding where the different coordinates map to is quite difficult.
Interesting.
Have you used it before?
Well, this was our sort of. I mean, I've only been his student for a year, so, and he spent most of that year trying to build it with me. We only finished it recently.
So you haven't travelled anywhere using it?
We've done tests. We haven't gone through the portals. We have made them,
Hmm.
but it is a work in progress.
I look at the safe and I think there might be coordinates in there. I'm after some very specific coordinates or some form of conversation. He mentioned he would contact someone from the Feywild. Do you know anything about that?
Well, my speciality at the Magisterium, at the Arcanum, was the Feywild.
Okay.
I was a student on those matters. I was trying to help him with a certain issue of his.
Okay. Well,
What's your name, by the way?
my name is Shunnock Hadab. You probably haven't heard my name before.
Well, my name is Pascal Marsh. I mean, if you want to, I mean, I want to kill the people who did this to my, to Mr. Holdale. So if you want to help me, I'm going to use this thing to kill him. Kill them all.
How exactly do you intend to do that?
I don't know. I'm going to research it, I think.
I'm gonna put my hand on the object and I say, it's a dark path. I know from everything I know the person these people serve. They can do far worse than this. You're young, and I understand that you are full of grandeur here, but do be careful. Think this through and strategize with me about this. I want to see justice done as well, but don't go jumping in.
Oh, do you have somewhere we can make a plan that isn't, well, I don't know, that isn't here?
Well, we have Erstowald in Darkbridge that we can convene after the end of the week.
Cool, give me the directions to that, and then we can spend the next year talking.
Next year? No, my friend, we're going to stop their boss soon.
Okay, but we need to make a plan.
Okay. I just kind of give him the directions to Erstowald.
Okay, cool. Right, he tentatively sort of makes his way out of the mansion and escapes. And as you come out the door as well, you're once again faced with the bodies. Right, what do you want to do with them? Do you want to leave them there? Alert the authorities? Or?
I'd like to, at the very least, cut them down.
Okay, you can do that. That's easy.
And just kind of head out, find a temple or something, and let them know that there are bodies that need burial.
Okay, so you can spend the rest of the day doing that. And then leads us to, after there being a couple of days, yeah, so then you can head over to Oristas at some point.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do for the sort of rest of the week after the sort of body cleanup and that sort of stuff?
Nothing my end unless you get contacted by the Inquisitor.
Yeah, nothing either.
Okay. Well, at some point during the next few days, Admir says to you, Mona, I've never been this far away from home, and yet it does feel like home in a weird way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's because I'm with you.
Oh, is that it? Oh, I thought it was all the weird animal heads on the walls of this inn.
Maybe.
She's like, so what's the sea like?
It's like a lake but bigger.
How big?
Um, you know, if you stand on top of a hill and you look out and you can see the world, um, you can see really far. It's that
Sure.
big.
Wow, this is as big as you can see.
It's as big as you can see. That's why it's called the sea.
Is it?
Mm.
Hmm. Well, can you see the other side at any point?
Sometimes it depends where you go.
Hmm. Cool. Sounds scary, honestly. Get drowned in it.
Well, you don't have to go in.
I'll bear that in mind. Thank you. All right. So yeah, and then so the last day. So we'll leave off the session then on the 50th day of autumn, which is the morning of.
Woo!
Yeah,
Cool.
morning of the wedding, and we'll get
Yeah.
there next session.
Cool.
Sure.
We survived. Well,
Some people survived.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Someone doesn't die.
So yeah, next session is going to be the wedding then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, Matt, we still need to have that conversation. I've been lazy.
Gothric would also come to the wedding.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about who's going to be there.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we got a friend.
Yeah. And have you ended this thing, Richard?
Oh,
Thanks
I'll
for
end it now.
watching, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
thanks for watching.
See you next week, Russian spammers.
Oh, they actually have been now. They have been spamming.
See ya.
Yeah, I've loved.